It is me, Thor, son of Odin and protector of mankind. Check out my packs. Your packs are epic. Thanks, bro. Welcome to the Pixel Pop Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Toby. With me this fortnight, I'm joined by the extra robust, super delicious Lucas.
Thank you.
And the slightly squishy, ever so tender Jesse.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Keeping it sedate this fortnight.
What was that opening?
That's Kung Fury. That's when Odin comes out of the lake.
It was too.
Yeah, see, that's why he didn't laugh, because you're thinking, the fuck's he talking about now? Well, now you know.
So he started doing the Thor quote, and I'm like, wait, I don't remember this from being any part of the
that's
Thor
one of the
movie.
best. You need to go and watch Kung Fury again, clearly.
Yeah, man. So good.
Clearly. Any excuse to watch Kung Fury again is a good excuse, right?
I thought you were paraphrasing the freaking pantomime that they did in Thor Ragnarok.
No, that was Kung Fury.
Kung Fury. Remember that?
Yeah, oh well. Anyway, we've got a lot to get through this fortnight. Most of it is news. I'm going to try and bullet point as much as we can, but obviously, as we do, we'll get yakking about some things. We can't help ourselves. After which, we're going to talk about Black Panther, which hopefully most of you have seen by now. We'll do our regular spoiler-free thoughts first, before we jump into spoilers. But yeah, let's get cracking with the news. Take us away, Lucas.
Cool. So, funnily enough, on the topic of Kung Fury, they're doing a live action movie, like a full blown live action movie. The guys who made it originally, who did the what was it called, like the half hour one that's on Netflix and YouTube, the short. He's coming back. I think he's doing direction as well, and he's also going to be doing the lead character. Michael Fassbender is going to be in it in an undisclosed role, could be a villain, which would be amazing.
Well, he's played a German quite a bit. I mean, so, you know, we got rid of Hitler in the first one, so maybe we're going to do, like, I don't know, bloody one of the other SS people.
Himmler.
Yeah, he could pull off a Himmler, couldn't he?
As long as he has one of those really ridiculous cartoon German accents, he goes, it's in German.
Yeah, exactly.
It has to be like
and
comically
ridiculous.
It's got to be so.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, the original movie was comically ridiculous. That's the only way you can take it seriously.
What are you talking about? I take intergalactic space cop dinosaurs very serious.
Of course.
Listen, there is nothing funny about Hacker Man.
Hacker Man.
But he's not the only person that's rumored to be appearing in it, I hear.
He definitely is not. Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be in it, finally, as the president we all want and deserve.
Is it pre-production, or do we have any dates or for Kung Fury?
They're just pre-production and casting at the minute. Nothing major has come out in regards to anything else. Cool. Yeah. Moving on. So last time we talked about Cloverfield Paradox and how we all felt about it. They're also saying that in the first week, 5 million views is what they got on the film within its first 7 days, which they're pretty disappointed in, apparently, because Bright managed to get 11 million. But in saying that, you also got to take into consideration the amount of production. Was it promotion? That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it was
a lot longer.
Yeah, I think unlike Bright, which we've all sort of watched and went neat and put back on the shelf, like Cloverfield will sort of get more constant traffic as more and more people become aware of it. Obviously, before Overlord comes out, it'll get another spike as well, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
All right, cool.
Moving on from Cloverfield, though, they've confirmed, Blumhouse Productions has confirmed that they're doing a Five Nights at Freddy's movie with Christopher Columbus directing.
Fucking Jesus Christ!
Okay, that's an interesting response. What the hell?
I am a cynical old man, and I just don't want to see Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
I thought I was the cynical old man. Since when are you jumping on my bandwagon?
Like, every day that I'm at work and children come and buy Five Nights at Freddy's stuff, I feel like one of those people from. Have you guys seen Waiting with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes. God, yes.
I feel like
I love that movie.
I feel like everyone there that just rolls their eyes at customers. I'm like, what the fuck is this stupid, dumb fuck piece of shit, garbage crap that children like?
Wow. Tell us how you really feel. And this fortnight, the part of Toby will be played by Jesse.
Yeah, I can't fathom it. I can't understand why anyone wants to see a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I won't be seeing it. I will refuse to see it. I don't want to.
Next week, he'll be abusing teenagers for fucking around with their phones in the cinema.
I hate that too.
So, like, I think the two major pluses that come out of this is that Blumhouse is behind it, which I think is a fantastic move if they want to progress a Five Nights at Freddy movie. Having Christopher Columbus behind it as well, who obviously did the first two Harry Potter movies, it makes me feel that they may go the way of making this very much in the vein of, and not quite, but in the vein of the Goosebumps movie, where it's going to be aimed at kids, but it's going to be a scary movie.
If this is a good movie, I will write a public apology to Blumhouse on Twitter.
All right.
No,
excellent.
no,
you heard that here.
Yeah, do it. No, do it on the Pixel Pop page.
I will write a public apology to Blumhouse on Pixel Pop.
I'll hold you to
Twitter.
that. All right, I'll hold you to that.
If it's good.
All right, moving along.
Next up, Jurassic World 3. We don't even have the second one out yet, but Jurassic World 3 is coming out in June 11th, 2021.
Jesus fucking Christ. Warner Brothers smelt money and just went berserk, didn't they?
Yeah.
Isn't it Universal?
They're all the same. They're all owned by Disney now.
Sorry.
It's all owned by Disney these days.
Oh, shit.
But I mean, seriously, obviously someone sniffed some money and was like, right, let's bang out as many of these as we can while we can still make $30.
Yeah, and also, tapping Chris Pratt down for another movie.
Yeah, and they've obviously run out of, exciting dinosaurs, so now everything's just a fucking mutant. So by the time we get to Jurassic World 6, it's just going to be aliens versus fucking Predator again.
It's going to be Mothra.
Oh
Exactly.
my god, could you imagine aliens versus dinosaurs?
Versus Predator versus Batman.
And then, you got a fucking alien that bursts out of a T-Rex, and you've got, a fucking xenomorph Jesus Christ, no. Stop, no. Terrible.
Wearing a little Batman helmet.
Amazing.
Terrible. All right,
amazing. James Hetfield will be making his film debut in the Ted Bundy film alongside Zac Efron. Yay. And will be playing the role of the cop that arrested Ted Bundy.
Yay.
Okay.
I just think that's funny. I just think that's hilarious.
I feel like this is going to go the way that Bon Jovi's cameo in Cry Wolf went. If anyone's seen that movie.
You're giving Bon Jovi way too much credit.
I am. Mr. I'm going to be in the sequel to Vampires.
Okay,
but yeah,
fair enough.
He's going to be making his film debut as a cop who arrested a serial killer. Moving on, Star Wars Episode 9 has hired the Blade Runner 2049 art director to come onto the film and do some art direction.
Don't blame him.
Yeah.
I mean, what you want. Well, you didn't have to enjoy the movie, but Blade Runner 2049 was a very pretty film to look at.
Yeah, it looked amazing. So I feel like when I read this, I was just like, this is a good move. Like, I haven't even seen all of 2049 yet, but from the trailers and the images that I've seen, it's a gorgeous looking film. So I feel this is probably a very smart move.
Anyway, that's cool. Good move. Moving along.
Next up, Stefano Sollima, who is the guy who's going to be directing Sicario 2, has been tapped for the Call of Duty film to direct it.
Yeah. Now, not too excited about a Call of Duty film. Well, as far as the director goes, until I've seen Sicario 2, it's really too early for me to judge.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just address the elephant in the room of they're doing a Call of Duty film.
Yeah.
Now,
more importantly, don't fuck up Sicario 2, or Jesse and I will be around to skin you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's far more important.
And then go on to make a Call of Duty film. That's like doubly damning for you that you even touched Call of Duty at all.
Yeah, because then you've got the Call of Duty fanboys that are coming around to skin what's left of you. Exactly.
So I have the opinion of, and I spoke to Ethan about this, and I think he kind of agrees that the Modern Warfare storyline is ready-made for a film.
Oh, so you're going to do the Soap McTavish story?
Whether or not they do Soap or they do a version of it, I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, look, I'll watch the film when it hits Netflix with, on a Friday night and I've got nothing better on.
Yeah. Guess what? Transformers 6 has been dropped quietly from Paramount's release schedule.
Good.
They're still doing Bumblebee, and that's still going to be released with, I think, The Rock and Haley Steinfeld from Pitch Perfect. But after that, there's no plans at the minute to do a Transformers movie, which leads to the rumors of either a soft reboot or a hard reboot.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next up, Fox has changed the dates of a couple of movies coming up. The big one is that July 20th, we were meant to be seeing the opening of James Cameron's Alita Battle Angel, which, my 2 cents, that movie looks like, a steaming pile of dog shit. That's been pushed back to December 21, which is very interesting because they're putting that up against Aquaman.
Isn't Alita Battle Angel the Robert Rodriguez one?
Yeah. James Cameron's producing it.
Oh, I didn't know he was attached to that.
Yeah, Robert Rodriguez is directing and James Cameron is producing. So not only did they announce that, Alita Battle Angel will be moving to December 21st, they also announced that they're doing a date swap for The Predator and The Darkest Minds. Predator is going to be moved back to September 14th, and The Darkest Minds, which I don't know too much about, apparently has moved up to August 3rd. Okay. And then they've also, at the same time, announced that they're doing a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express. And it will be Death of the Nile. And that's been set for November 8th, 2019, so next year. Kenneth Branagh will be coming back as well.
To direct and star, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Good call, Fox. You might be doing something right for once.
Moving on.
So he's one that, he's a dagger in your childhood.
Oh my god. So
I'm just this old guy off to one side, rubbing my hands together gleefully because I'm just waiting for all of your generation to lose their shit, collectively lose their shit at this movie. It means nothing to me.
So listen, The Lion King is one of the best animated films ever made, and I will fist fight anyone that says otherwise, unless they say Toy Story 2. In that case, I maybe agree with them.
Do you mean Toy Story as well, or Toy Story 2?
Nah,
Toy Story 2.
Aladdin is better. Aladdin is better.
Nah, I disagree.
Shut up, Toby. So Lion King's coming out, and it's the live action / CGI movie that they're doing in the vein of how they did the Jungle Book. We've talked about it before, who's going to be in it. What hasn't been mentioned, though, is what they're going to do in terms of music. And obviously with the original Lion King movie, there was a lot of music involved. Tim Rice, I think his name was the guy who did the soundtrack. Elton John worked on it a little bit with him, and they wrote a whole bunch of songs. They've only confirmed, though, that 4 songs are going to be making it into the live-action movie, which is Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Hakuna Matata, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, and Circle of Life. There is no Be Prepared.
Where the fuck is Be Prepared?
I am so mad because Chiwetel Ejiofor is playing Scar, and he's a classically trained singer. And Be Prepared is like, the moment I heard that he was attached to Scar, I was like, excellent. Because listening to him sing Be Prepared is going to be incredible, and we're not getting it!
That's bullshit.
And you know what we're getting in its place? A reworked version of Circle of Life with Elton John and Beyonce.
What?
Yeah.
Can Beyonce just fuck off?
She's already ruined that Ed Sheeran perfect song. Like, now she's ruining Circle of Life.
Yeah. Oh, look, I hope it hurts. I'll be laughing. I'm a bastard.
We'll take your fucking walker, you old son of a bitch.
Good luck with that. Alright, moving into the realms of DC. What does DC stand for? Does DC actually stand for anything in the comic book word? Is it like dark comics?
Commit.
What was that?
Cut to the bone.
Oh, shit.
Cold cop those motherfuckers.
Alright, does anyone know? Does DC stand for anything? Like,
Detective Comics.
I think it was...
Could be. Am I that naive?
That is what it stands for. It stands for Detective Comics.
Okay, because that's how it started.
Yeah.
That's funny that you made the comment about doesn't commit, because guess who's not committing? Ben Affleck.
He's a fucking asshole!
Yeah, I feel he's the best part of the DC extended universe at the minute. And
Which, I can't blame the guy for wanting to leave.
Honestly, neither can I. I wish he would, because I feel that like I said, I think he's the best part of that entire franchise. But, you know, he's coming in, he's going to be doing the Flash movie. While he hasn't said that he's out, he hasn't said that he's in. So I'm guessing that he's waiting to see how the Flash movie is handled and how his role in that is handled before he then makes a decision.
But anyway, good luck to Mr. Affleck.
Yeah, I'm just sad to see him go. He's a really good Batman and a good Bruce Wayne, so it is a shame that he's walking away. That's the only reason why.
To be fair, though, I mean, he did play the part well, but I think it wasn't so much that we remember too much shit he got before we saw him on the screen. Everyone's like, fuck Affleck as Batman, Jesus.
Yeah, I know, I never got that. He got
so much shit, right? I think, as much as I honestly think he did the role well, don't get me wrong, I think what we loved more than Affleck as Batman was the concept of an older and more tired and weathered Batman, because we hadn't seen that before. Yeah.
And
I am quite excited by those rumors of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, because I think he could do a good Batman.
Yeah, so to be fair, look, if we can get a more mature actor again that sort of can portray that part, it may still do well. But anyway, moving on.
Ian McKellen as Batman.
Moving on as well, in the realm of DC, we've got a couple of DC pieces of news, but the next one is Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina, has got the upcoming Annihilation movie coming out with Natalie Portman, has said he wants to take a crack at a Swamp Thing movie. Alex Garland makes weird movies. Let's just call it how we see it.
Right.
Swamp Thing is as weird as it gets when it gets to the DCEU. They also, there's obviously the rumors of doing Justice League Dark, so rather than just establishing Swamp Thing in Justice League Dark, they could totally flesh him out here. Maybe introduce Constantine and a couple of others, and then push it into a Justice League Dark movie, rather than doing what they did and doing, kind of going the way of, Man of Steel to Batman vs Superman. And then speaking of the Batgirl movie as well, so it's been rumored for, I think about a year and a half now that Joss Whedon was going to be directing it, and I think yesterday they announced that he was stepping down as director.
Oh, they wouldn't let him do another teenage drama.
Well, I wonder if that was his decision, or if that was a case of DC sort of looking at the response to
Justice League,
and going, nah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair though, Joss Whedon does have a history of doing a lot of female-fronted content, but it's also good. But it's also good. Like, it's also very good. Like Buffy was fantastic. Even though it's not, like, Angel was great. Dollhouse was great. Joss Whedon and he also has a knack for writing good characters. So I felt that him being put behind a Batgirl movie was the smartest idea, especially if he wanted to get out of the game of doing
depends on how they wanted to approach it though. Again, I wouldn't have Joss Whedon do a Batman film, for instance. Like, Batman is meant to be dark and noir and gritty, and that's why Snyder did such a good job. And I think, Batgirl is still set in that same unit. Like, Gotham in itself implies gothic, dark, right? I don't know if he would have been suited for it.
I think it just depends on, the kind of Batgirl. Like, the way the Batgirl is in the comics these days, Joss Whedon would slot pretty well into that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Again, it depends on, what sort of...
They need to do pre-Killing Joke Batgirl.
Yeah.
Where she's that kind of, hyper chirpy,
Well, it'd really benefit DC if they decided to do subtle world building in the sense of setting Batgirl up early and then working towards, 6 years, 7 years from now, a Killing Joke movie. And then once people have, gotten acquainted with Batgirl, they like Barbara Gordon, and then the Joker fucks her up. That'll actually pay off.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough DC. As Ethan would say, fuck DC, that's all they get. Move on to more interesting topics now.
Oh, you mean like Marvel?
Yeah, let's do Marvel.
So, Tim Miller, even though he's dropped out of the Deadpool, working on Deadpool, he's actually announced that he's working on a Kitty Pryde movie, and he'll be working on that in conjunction with Brian Michael Bendis, who is known as one of the best things to happen to Marvel recently until he jumped ship to DC.
So those playing at home, Kitty Pryde is?
Kitty Pryde is the character that Ellen Page played in the original X-Men movies. Right. And then she was the one that sent Wolverine back in time in Days of Future Past.
Okay, there you go. Yep, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, she graduated from running through walls to going through time.
No word if Ellen Page is going to be part of it, or if this is going to be set in the universe that has been established with the new canon, with Sophie Turner and them.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting. Brian Michael Bendis is coming over to help with that. So, having Brian Michael Bendis back it and help with the writing, I feel that this could be a really awesome movie for a character that's, essentially a C+ superhero, a C grade superhero. There are plenty of other people in the X-Men that they could totally make a solo movie about. But
I'd like to see Jubilee and Dazzler finally show up.
Well, there was a rumor that Dazzler was going to be in Apocalypse, and it was going to be Taylor Swift.
What?
Yeah, that was a casting rumor a while ago.
Oh my god.
And then also, while we're on the train of X-Men, the New Mutants movie's been delayed back to next year. We knew about that a while ago, but it's now been confirmed by Maisie Williams that the film hasn't been delayed to reshoots. It's actually delayed to polish the CGI.
Oh.
But still, needing 10 months to polish CGI, that just doesn't sound right to me. Because it was originally meant to come out in April, and now it's been pushed back to February next year.
Look, it could be things like give you an example. Like with The Hobbit, for instance, the orc that was in the Hobbit movie, the White Orc, that was originally a physical actor and then it got turned into a CG actor. Like, that's a lot of work.
Did Manu Bennett play him physically?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a physical actor and then they just stuck the CG character over the top, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is...
which was Manu Bennett from...
Yeah. So what it might be in New Mutants is something along those lines, like where they're replacing or redesigning a digital character from the ground up, and if it's a major character, like a lot of screen time, that would explain 10 months. Like, if you imagine, for instance, you filmed, I don't know, like the Two Towers, and then you went, fuck, we're going to replace Gollum. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah,
level.
It's a lot of work.
We don't know the characters in there, but if there's a major CGI character and the studios looked at it and went, nah, we're not gonna do Superman's mustache for this one. Let's go back and take the time to polish it. Then that could be why. We'll know. I think you'll know when the movie comes out. Like, you just got to look for that major CG, effect or character, and that'll probably be it.
And that's just one really complicated house fire.
Look, and it may be going back for color grading or the rest of it, but I don't believe that takes that amount of time, not color grading.
Yeah, there was a rumor that one of the characters, I can't remember who the villain was meant to be. I'll have to polish up on my knowledge of New Mutants, but there was a rumor that the villain was going to be a CGI character, and then apparently that got changed out, and the villain everyone thought it was going to be wasn't going to be that character, but the only way they could do that villain, which I can't remember who it was now, which is going to bug me, but the only way they can really do that character is with full CGI. So what you're saying, Toby, kind of makes sense if that's the way they're going to end up going. Yeah,
they might have had a live actor, or they might have had a CGI, and whatever it was, they might have just gone, nope, don't like that, do it again. So anyway, cool. We'll see it in 10 months, 12 months, whatever it is.
Yeah. Moving on from that, there's a massive rumor doing the rounds at the minute that Woody Harrelson has been cast in the Venom movie, and he will be playing Carnage.
It's a good cast. If it's legit, it's a good cast. And Hardy and Harrelson in this is going to be. I can see those two bouncing off each other with some good chemistry. I'm keen for this.
I'm surprised that they haven't actually been opposite each other in like a crime drama yet, because they're both so good in that genre.
Yeah. Also, as well, like, not only having Tom Hardy, like, again, someone that I talk about quite a lot. I find myself talking more and more about, obviously, is Riz Ahmed. Like, he is fucking excellent.
He's a great actor.
He was good in Rogue One. He was excellent in The Night Before.
Was it Night?
The Night of. Sorry.
Yeah, The Night of. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that he's going to be playing what looks to be the lead villain in this, I hope this leads to more and more parts for him, because he is a very underrated actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Punisher Season 2 starts filming before the end of the month, which when this goes up, it'll probably be getting closer to the end of the month. I think there'll be a couple of days left in the month, but Punisher will probably have started filming by the time.
That'd be great. Some leaked set shots or something. That'd be good.
Oh god, I need to see a full get up for Jigsaw. Or I wonder if they're going to...
I want to know... Well, I want to see confirmation of the storyline. So if we see shipping containers with girls in them, then, like, whoa.
We know exactly what storyline it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we didn't... I don't think we talked about last time, but... I know we kind of did.
We did, yeah. No, we mentioned it. Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, which is going to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, keen regardless. Like, Punisher Season 1 was great. I wonder if they're going to do a slow burn reveal to Jigsaw for him to set up Season 3.
I think I reckon you won't see him, and he'll be like one of those, like, at the very end, if anything.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm kind of wondering if they're going to deal with him the same way they dealt with Wilson Fisk in Season 2, where he was kind of that, he was manipulating things from the background, and then Wilson Fisk obviously is going to be the lead villain for Season 3 of Daredevil. They're going to do the same thing with Jigsaw for Season 3 of Punisher.
No, what'll happen is we'll have in Punisher Season 3, he'll team up with Spider-Man and they'll take on Kingpin. That's the only way it can happen.
That would be sick.
I know, right? Considering Kingpin's a major enemy for Spider-Man, but also for, is obviously a big problem for, the Punisher. And Daredevil, because he's New York-based. Any hero in New York has got a problem with Kingpin.
Yeah.
So anyway... Daydreams aside, moving along.
I'm kind of surprised, like, kind of just jumping back in, but I kind of surprised that they didn't do Wilson Fisk at all during Defenders as being like the, basically leaving him to be the Kingpin role.
And I think you had other more important topics to get like, he'll be back in a big way, and we know it.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially with Born Again. Like,
yes,
Born Again is a massive Kingpin story. So, next up, 2 weeks to go until Jessica Jones season 2 comes out, and we just got another trailer.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I'm getting pumped. Like, I'm still behind the idea if they do Inhumans, I'm gonna be less liking this, liking season 2, but regardless,
well,
like,
we
so
saw
far,
a little bit more of that in the trailer. Like, you see what looks like on the operating table, she's got some stitches in her leg or something.
She's getting like tortured and shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
I'm excited just because Jessica Jones is still my favorite part of the Netflix Marvel stuff.
yeah, she's good. Like, the first season is a very tough watch.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
As opposed to like Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Daredevil, like, I could binge that and have it done in 24
was it just
hours.
me?
With Jessica Jones,
flashbacks.
Jessica
in this
Jones,
trailer?
I needed. Hey,
Is she doing flashbacks in this trailer, or is she? Because, like, we see in that trailer, the new trailer, we see again the scene where she first meets,
In the bar of Luke Cage, yeah.
oh
Well,
yeah, no, there were
plus,
a few.
Plus, there's the scene where she first meets, the Purple Man, and
yeah, Kilgrave.
Like, there's that scene again, but it's like she's changing them this time.
I think they might be like expansions on what we've seen or something like that, because I know that David Tennant came back for Kilgrave for season 2, so
Yes, or she's processing some shit mentally, or I don't know.
she's in group therapy or something.
Yeah,
Maybe,
no,
and she's talking about what happened. Yeah, it could
well,
be.
I heard a rumor for those that have played the Arkham Knight video game, the Batman Arkham Knight. Kilgrave will be playing a role very much to the Joker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's gonna be part of her mentality. Like, sorry, he's gonna be
Part of her psyche.
mentally antagonizing her while she's going through all this stuff. So, like, he's in the series and he's gonna be in it, like, not as much as he was in season 1, but he's gonna pop up at specific parts and be like, "Oh, remember when we did this?" And he's gonna, like, send her crazy.
I'm so in for that.
Yeah, which I think is a very interesting way to use the character. Like, sure, they've killed David Tennant, they've killed Kilgrave off, but they're still using him in a way that, victims of, and to try not to get too deep into the psychology of it, but, victims who have suffered sexual assault and manipulation from a loved one, that still affects them mentally. And while it's not to the point of, being able to physically see a hallucination of that person, the Marvel universe is a very different beast. So I can kind of see them going that way.
Yeah, they're approaching abuse victims and having to deal with it, and that theme of Jessica Jones still carrying on another season is. I think they've done a good thing there.
Yes,
they didn't just sort of go, Jessica Jones has a lot of problems and she's really fucked up. Let's just end that there. Like, she's magically better now. Like, no, she's still going through shit. She's got a lot of issues. And
they even explicitly stated in the trailer, I was raped, I was abused, I was mentally scarred. Like, then, like, before the first season, they kind of they tiptoed around it, I guess. But now that they've got such a positive backing behind how they dealt with that abuse in season 1, they're going all out in season 2 and being and calling it what it is. Yeah, which I think is fantastic.
I think, like you said, they're going all out in season 2, because in season 1, I think they were trying to both test the waters and do it not tastefully, but I'm trying to think of another way of saying it, but doing it in a way that wouldn't get them the kind of backlash that 13 Reasons Why got. That was handled very poorly.
Yeah, but also got to remember as well that
wasn't making a spectacle of it.
Also making as well. This came out before 13 Reasons Why, and
I thought Jessica Jones handled abuse in a lot of forms better than anything I've ever seen personally.
And then the last piece before we'll probably put a tome code in. For those that don't want to know, there's a mild spoiler for Infinity War out that we're going to talk about real quick. There's a toy show in New York, and in one of the toys, it revealed that Thanos is wearing armor, which we didn't think was going to happen.
He's going in the nude.
We thought he was just going to be running around naked with nothing but a gauntlet on. But
in the nudie.
Well, in the trailers we had seen, he was just sort of wearing like a tunic. And
it was
but he wasn't.
He wasn't wearing the classic.
Clothes.
Yeah.
But clearly, I think what's going to happen is you get to the third act when the Avengers all finally team up in one cohesive unit. He's going to go, right, shit gets serious, and he'll armor up.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, like, whether, like, you know, Stark or Rogers are going to be like, all right, everyone, let's suit up. And he's like, hey, look, I can do that too, and just wears the full...
Lucas,
yeah.
Lucas, this will fuck with you. Imagine if Thanos got a hold of the Stark nanotech. Imagine Thanos in an Iron Man suit.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That'd be sick, though.
I know, right?
He doesn't need it.
He wouldn't need it. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
he wouldn't fucking need it.
Doesn't need it, yeah.
Fuck me, that'd be cool.
But it'd be kind of neat. Especially... but imagine if the nano suit tapped into the gauntlet, and so the armor becomes an extension of the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, that would be interesting.
Toby, you're going to lose your mind if you think that's cool compared to the technology that's in Black Panther now. Like, if
All I'm saying is, if Marvel want to put me on the payroll, if Marvel want to put me on the payroll, I'm more than happy to discuss terms.
But then you'll start talking about the celestial body war shit, and they'll be like, that's why we didn't want to hire this guy.
No. They'll say, look, I love the fact that he's forward-thinking and planning of our movies in the next 120 years.
But he wants planets to fight each other, so no.
Dude, who doesn't want to see planets fight each other? We're going to have a movie shortly where cities fight each other. Fuck it, why not planets and universes? I mean, you can't argue with that when there's fucking movie about fucking cities fighting each other, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking stupid, isn't it?
But yeah, so that's the end of the news anyway. So.
Whew. All right, let's get into.
A slog, eh?
It was. Let's get into Black Panther now. Jesse and Lucas have both seen the film. I haven't had a chance yet. I've just been far too busy, but that's fine. We're going to start off with some spoiler-free thoughts from these gents, and then we'll give you clear warning before we move into spoiler discussion. All right, let's go.
So pretty much to say it off the bat, I think it's the best film since the Avengers.
Better than the Thor movies?
I think it was better than Ragnarok, if for a different reason. It was better than Ragnarok.
Does Hemsworth know how you feel?
I haven't told him yet. He'll get over it.
Let him down easy, man.
You let him down easy. Because he's dumping you.
He'll get over it.
Actually, there's a rumor too that Portman wants to come back. Did you hear that?
No.
Really?
No.
I don't think they'll have her.
I'm good.
Anyway. Yeah,
no,
I don't
think
they'll have her. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I think it's the best movie since the Avengers. The film did something very good in the sense of making every character feel important. Every single side character had a purpose, whether it was Okoye with the Dora Milaje. I'm gonna get stumped on names because there's so many characters, and that just kind of is a testament to how well each character is handled. The major thing I thought I was going to have a problem with was M'Baku, who for those that know, M'Baku in the comic books is known as Man-Ape. I was very curious how they would handle his storyline, given the racial connotations of the name. Basically, he's not going by the Man-Ape name, which I'm fine with. They handled M'Baku's character very well. I thought he was surprisingly the most comedic part of the whole film.
Yeah,
Daniel Kaluuya as well from Get Out. He was awesome in it. Killmonger, arguably the best villain since Loki. I'll fist fight anyone that says otherwise. I thought he was fantastic. His motivations made sense. Chadwick Boseman was fantastic. Every single person in this movie was fantastic.
I agree with you on the thing of like everyone being an important role, each character having an important role.
Yeah,
we're gonna have an interesting time here.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think back to say the first Captain America, like the Howling Commandos are really fucking cool, but they don't really do anything. Like you never sort of get to know them.
Yeah, they're just there.
They're just there because they're cool. Yeah. I'm still waiting for the TV series, god damn it, Disney.
But yeah, I really like the movie. I think it's I'm trying to think of like in the sense of where I'd put it like overall in my rankings. I still think Avengers is the best film purely because of what it took to get there, as well as it also then being a fantastic film. But I feel this is very close to the top. It's probably second or third.
Wait, Avengers?
Yeah, first Avengers. I think the
More
first
than Civil War
Yes.
and Winter Soldier.
Yes. Then Civil War.
crazy
Civil War sits pretty high, but Winter Soldier is second.
Wow.
Avengers is the highest rated on IMDb.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, my opinion on the Avengers comes from two fronts. It's what it took to get them there, and then it's also the fact that it is a very good film, very well written. There are small problems with it, but for the most part, it's a great film. And I felt exactly the same way with Black Panther. The only difference between Black Panther and Avengers is that all of the main characters were established in Avengers, so it was basically, they could get the motor started and run. With this, they had to, they establish who everyone was, what their motivations were, who they were, who will set up all the relationships, and then get the motor running. But like I said, everyone I think was handled really well. A quick shout out to Shuri, probably one of the best characters in the movie. She was fantastic. She gets some really good lines. She's kind of like the comedic relief of the movie, as much as M'Baku is at parts too. But
people really want her to be a Disney princess now.
She is officially a Disney princess, by the way. Thank you.
Ah,
I thought the movie was really good.
Okay, Jesse,
I'll
thoughts?
let Jesse jump in now.
well,
cracks the knuckles.
honestly,
sorry. Before you jump in, I know I said you can go. There was one problem I had with the movie, and that is, Jesse will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a very specific fight scene that has very specific cartoony CGI.
Yes.
It was
you, Lucas. I thought I was crazy.
Nah, man, it was rubbery as fuck.
Oh, dude, that was bad.
It made me uncomfortable. Like,
are we talking Superman mustache bad?
No, we're talking way worse.
Ooh,
bad.
Okay, so we're talking about 80s fucking.
The best comparison I can put it to is how bad the CGI was at the start of Age of Ultron.
Okay, that's hard.
I'd say it was worse.
It was worse, but that's what I mean. That whole opening scene where they did the one shot, where they were kind of let's replicate the one shot that we did in Avengers, and they do it right at the start of the movie as opposed to at the end. There were some parts to that just looked awkward.
It was like Dragon Ball Evolution, the Dragon Ball movie. It was that.
No, that movie doesn't exist to me. I'm sorry.
That
I don't know what you're talking about.
But that's the level of.
All right, I haven't seen that either, but I'll look for it when I get to watch it.
You'll see it.
Oh no, don't.
You can't. The only way you'll miss it is if you look away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Crack knuckles. Yeah. Tell us what you think, Jesse. And that's it, folks. Thank you for joining us this fortnight.
Yeah, that's it. That was my whole review. Honestly, I'm going to be in the minority, and I know it. I thought it was totally fine, so I'll defend myself first by saying that I thought it was totally fine. It's not a bad movie at all, but I don't understand at all the hype it's getting. I don't think it even registers close to being in the top 5 that I've seen. And I was excited for Black Panther, and I just don't get it. I just don't get the hype at all. I don't see why people are saying this is the best Marvel movie at all. I was actually quite bored for about.
To be fair, I'm the villain when it comes to Winter Soldier. I am the same. Winter Soldier does little for me, and yet it's one of the highest ranked, and everyone loves it. So there's nothing wrong with having a different opinion.
No, and I'm not one of those people that's going to sit there and say I'm right, you're wrong. You shouldn't like this movie because I don't. Yeah, I'm so glad that people love Black Panther. The amount of praise it's getting, that just says to me a lot of people are enjoying it, and that's what movies are all about. But for me, I went to see it and I was like, this is okay. It was fine. It was fine. It was the same reaction that a lot of people I know gave Doctor Strange. They were like, it's fine. It was a bit boring. It was fine.
Yeah,
and
I
loved
the same with Strange as well. I watched Doctor Strange and went,
Yeah, see, whereas I loved Doctor Strange, but I can totally see that's also my personal
I love the first Captain America movie, and nobody in the entire universe agrees with me.
Sorry, when you're talking about Doctor Strange, do you mean Iron Man 4? Sorry, the Iron Man reboot?
I thought that I thought that was Homecoming. Wasn't that Iron Man 4?
That's every fucking origin movie.
Sherlock Holmes, Iron Man 4.
No, I thought Black Panther was good. I was a little bored in the first third of it, just
Fell
because
asleep
it was
for a while.
Oh no, it was just like I felt it was very plot along, but like Lucas said, it had to set stuff up, and it had a whole world to set up, like literally like a whole culture to set up. So I got to be fair to it and say, yeah, okay, fair enough. But I had issues with some of the mishmash of like culture stuff that I just didn't understand how that could be explained away. I thought it was pretty good though. In like the acting was fine. I thought Killmonger was a good bad guy. I thought all the supporting characters were actually more interesting than Black Panther himself. I mean, who doesn't like? Is it Danai Guerra?
Danai Guerra, yeah.
Yeah, like who doesn't love her? Like Michonne's a badass. Like she's a badass in everything she's in. She's even better in this. Like if Michonne had a spear, she would be even cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought it was. I was in at the beginning. I kind of dipped off. I was pretty bored for a while. I liked it about 2/3 of the way through, and then the end got me back. I really liked the action at the end, except for that one god awful, unforgivable CGI bit. And I'm not a big fan of rhinos out of nowhere. That was
don't! That's spoiler. That's so spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
No, that's a spoiler.
How?
Because we're gonna get into it in spoilers because that's something I was specifically going to bring up.
Oh, well, you can.
Let's just say there's a couple of rhinos.
There's a cow. There's rhinos in Jumanji. There's rhinos in Africa. People, spoilers.
Oh no.
Spoilers, there's tigers in Asia.
Don't go to Africa. That's a spoiler for Black Panther.
Don't go to Africa. I hear it rains. Oh,
a little dog told me that once.
All right, so that's it for spoiler free. I think like that's a pretty good summary. So we've got.
I honestly don't know what the spoilers are.
Well, so Lucas is giving it what 9.5 out of 10.
Oh yeah, 9.
9,
Wow.
And then Jesse, what about a 6?
Yeah, 6.5 for me.
Okay, cool. All right. So if you haven't seen the film yet, pause, stop, come back and push play or resume when you finish watching Black Panther. Or if you're like me and you're not too fussy, we're going to delve into some spoilers now because, as always, Lucas would just explode. Just literally explode.
Yes, I will.
If you've seen Big Trouble in Little China and you see how Thunder just keeps breathing in until he explodes, that's Lucas if we don't let him get the talking out.
Including the shouting and screaming.
Yeah, he just goes, wah, wah, and then walls break.
Can I just say, before you get into spoilers, Lucas, I am, and I guess this is a spoiler, so it's okay, I am pissed that my favourite part of Black Panther was not in it much, which was Ulysses.
Alright, so spoilers,
okay. Okay, alright, let's talk about this. I am super pissed they killed him off.
Yeah. I love Andy Serkis. They could have done so much more with him.
Yeah. I feel they could have as well. Like, having him have a small bit of setup in Age of Ultron, and then not seeing him again until this movie, and then killing him halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
They underused him.
And considering the amount of screen time he has for being killed off halfway through a movie, he's in it for like as much as minutes? Jared Leto is probably in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, no, I felt that killing him was a missed opportunity purely because of how amazing Andy Serkis is.
Yeah. I really liked Andy Serkis in Age of Ultron. And of course, being mildly familiar with the character, I was looking for the arm lock and was really happy when it happened. It's horrible, isn't it? It's like, and it's the same with Misty. We're sitting there rubbing our hands together, waiting for someone to lose a limb. But it's like, and when it happens, you're like, yay!
Listen, I'm not a bad person, but I cannot wait for you to lose your arm.
Yeah, exactly, right? So when it happened, it was like, cool, you know, we're seeing where, you know, what's going to happen, and he's going to get the arm and all the rest of it. But, I mean, I haven't seen the film, of course, so the fact that he's dead, that sucks. But anyway.
I understand why they killed him off, and that was purely to further Killmonger's cause. But at the same time, like, Claw is kind of a big villain in the Black Panther universe. He didn't get payoff he needed to get, I feel. Like, he just kind of felt like cannon fodder, which sucks, because if you want someone... If you want someone in your franchise, like, Andy Serkis is that person. I was genuinely surprised at how much in that movie I actually really liked Everett Ross, which is Martin Freeman's character. I'm a little disappointed that there wasn't a bit more of a lean into Infinity War, but I understand why there wasn't. The second post-credit scene as well, which I thought was really bizarre, which was Shuri taking care of Bucky. Bucky's now out of cryogenic. state,
Right.
and
So he's no longer underneath the control of Hydra then, and all that sort of
no.
mental control.
No, but basically he was like sitting out in a hut, and Sherry was looking after him. So I can't remember if he was wearing an arm or not, like a metal arm. I don't think he was.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
Because I was more shocked at the fact that they were going to do something with Bucky. Because
Infinity War, so
I mean he does, but like I just mean the sense of like I don't think he was wearing one.
Yeah, I can't remember if he had like a bandage.
Oh, as in he was like had no arm at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because when he went into cryo, he didn't have his arm on. They'd taken it off because they took what was left of it off.
If you look at Infinity War trailers, he no longer has the star on his arm.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Much like Captain doesn't have his badges anymore either. So they've sort of.
I reckon.
No, but he's got a vibranium arm.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So I reckon that they're going to go the route of he's got a vibranium arm now. That's
Wasn't
going to
it
be
already
all
vibranium,
pimped
though?
out.
No.
No, it was.
I
It was
thought
like
that was how he caught the shield.
No, it's some bastardization of vibranium that Hydra had been fucking around with.
Oh, okay.
Because remember Hydra had like subpar shit?
Right,
It was experimental tech.
Right, okay. Cool, yep.
The major complaint I thought I would have would be the handling of M'Baku and the Jabari. In the sense of, like, I didn't want them to, like, change them too much. The fact that they made them good guys kind of surprised me. Like, that came out of left field. And the fact that Wakabe, who was Daniel Kaluuya's character, the fact that they turned him into a villain of sorts, I fucking hated that. Because Wakabe is T'Challa's best friend and is loyal to him in the comic books all the way through to the day that he dies.
Okay.
The fact that they kind of, like, hinted at a turn and then also had the Jabari come and help T'Challa at the end when what was happening to Wakanda under Killmonger is what they wanted. Like, it just felt counterproductive to their development as a tribe.
Yeah, see, this is you're going into what my issues were with Black Panther. Like, I didn't have an issue with political crap or any of those things that I was actually worried about coming in. My issues was like actual filmmaking issues. Like, I was surprised by the pacing because it seemed a little slow and laborious to me. Like the way that characters were set up was very Shakespearean, like very the betrayal and everything was like really it felt like an actual scene from a play. Like, you get all of the story of Killmonger and his motivation in one big woof, like it's just boom, there you go.
There's one big piece of exposition.
Yeah, and I don't really have a problem with that when it's done like in a way that you kind of don't notice it happening. But I really noticed it with Black Panther. I didn't think it was bad, like it was distasteful or like tacky, but it was a bit noticeable. It was a bit jarring, and it was the same thing for me with what I was saying before about there being like a culture clash. One of the things I didn't understand or like was the idea that this is such a technologically advanced civilization, but they're still sticking to very archaic tribal traditions, like a fight to the death for a new leader and like the blind loyalty that goes with that. So like my biggest issue was just the fact that I thought there was a weird culture clash between modern tech and a lot of like archaic, very like savage tribal culture that was still around. Like, you know, visceral fighting between people trying to overthrow someone for power and who's going to be in charge of the tribe, and just that tribalism just really didn't make sense to me in a world where they've built like literal pseudo spaceships, like full on like crafts that are just very alien looking and so advanced, and you know, they've got little like beads on their wrists that like magically control shit that's, you know, that has no like obvious link to it. It's very far out, like incredibly fantastical stuff, and they're still doing like a lot of like tribal dancing and singing and stuff. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that culturally. I just don't get why it was there still. Like, they're so
I think
advanced.
in terms of singing and clothing and dancing and that sort of stuff is fine, and that's sort of culture.
It's fine. I just thought it was
no,
really
hang on, that's the sort of
out of
culture you
place.
want to keep. What you don't want to keep is, yes, like fights to the death. anything that's sort of destructive and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, in any culture, we can say, yes, we want to keep, these creative elements, but we're going to do away with the more barbaric or savage.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It just didn't make sense to me why a civilization that's built crazy technological advancements is still using such an archaic system and even justifying it. Like, everyone, all the elders are like, but he fought him to the death and won honorably. We must obey him now. Like, what? What the fuck?
Well, that kind of comes back to, the only person that fought T'Challa at the start anyway was M'Baku, and the only reason was that is because the rest of the tribes, they back T'Chaka and they back T'Challa and all of that.
To be fair, I think you don't have to put the Wakandan people on a pedestal. Here we are in the 21st century, and we're still walking into schools and shooting people with AK-47s.
Absolutely.
We're culturally advanced, and yet we still do pretty savage and fucking stupid things. So, I mean, not that I'm trying to put down the mythical nation of Wakanda, but I mean, even technologically advanced civilization still does some pretty dumb things, and maybe it's just one of those dumb things.
Maybe,
It's not really a dumb thing, though. Like I said, it's kind of steeped in the tradition of its people.
I'm pretty sure fighting someone to the death for political gain is a dumb thing.
I definitely.
I mean, as much as I want to see Trump and say,
saying.
Obama battled out with great swords and sickles or something.
I know exactly what Lucas is saying with that.
And I guess that's kind of like where the culture divide comes across. This is still things that kind of happen in Africa to a point, not to the point of obviously people are fighting off to the death, but everything is based in tradition, and you still have tribes that kind of live out in the desert, and in the forest and stuff. The reason that was brought in is that they still honor the heritage in which they've come from, and you can still be 400, 600 years in the future and still kind of adhere to those traditions. From what I could gather, that fight initially where they were like, who wants to challenge for the kingship? The only reason M'Baku took that challenge and on behalf of the Jabari is because the Jabari want to send Wakanda back into the days of being primitive, because they feel that the vibranium is a curse and not there for their benefit. So that was a golden opportunity to be able to then try and take the crown to then basically fuck vibranium off altogether. Now, the issue I have with M'Baku is that, like I said, M'Baku is a villain. Always has been, always will be. The fact that they turned him into a good guy and aligned him with T'Challa, specifically when at the start of the film they're like saying to you, M'Baku is purely in this to take Wakanda down. And then at the end of the movie, he joined them because he's like, we can't let this happen to Wakanda. Like, that completely undoes the entire Jabari motivation.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck about Wakanda before.
Yeah, he never... Exactly. Like, he gave a shit about Wakanda in the sense of we want to return it back to the way it was. But him coming to the aid of T'Challa at the end is like, nah, we're okay with the status quo.
Yeah.
Like, you would think they would want Killmonger to go through with his plan and then try to pick the pieces.
And the fact that they also have a shot where he levels off against... I can't remember his name, the guy from Get Out.
Wakabe.
Yeah, the fact that they have him opposite Wakabe is was really weird to me, because I'm not a comic book fan of Black Panther like you are, so I didn't know any of this context at all of heroes, villains, whatever. Yep. But I just thought that was strange from a writing perspective. Of movie starts, this guy is established as T'Challa's like BFF. He's an honorable good guy, and then out of nowhere he's like, yeah, fuck you. Yeah,
he does that turn purely because his, someone who's his best friend couldn't capture someone because they got, they got outsmarted.
Exactly.
And he's like, you got outsmarted, you didn't bring him back so I could avenge my parents. Fuck you, I'm going to join the guy that killed him.
Yeah. And then to add insult to injury, they then have a character literally in a shot face off against that guy, like making it look to you like these guys are parallels or now opposition of each other, who was the guy that tried to beat the shit out of T'Challa to begin with to send them back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the hell? Why is that guy a good guy now?
There was definitely some small script, some small character motivation issues that I have.
Yeah, and
I still think the movie's really good for everything else, but for the most part, like that sort of stuff I can kind of deal with and be like, yeah, cool, whatever. Hopefully they fix it in the sequel.
Legus,
Yeah.
what is the next Marvel movie to be released?
Jessica Jones.
No, movie at the cinema, MCU. What's the next one?
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Nope.
It's Infinity War, isn't it?
Yep. Oh my God, Infinity War's coming!
Yeah, I know. But
How
like,
long? How many days? How many weeks?
I'm not counting, but
Where's the clock?
It's surely 8 or 9 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And because
you need some time to yourself.
Because we haven't talked about it yet as well. So the rhinos. So a lot of the characters in the movie, they kind of like are based around animal deities, and Wakabe's tribe is specifically based around rhinos. They have rhinos made out of fucking vibranium.
What?
They were made out of vibranium?
Yeah, dude. They were made out of
that.
vibranium.
I thought they're just rhinos wearing stupid fucking metal armor, and I was like, this is fucking dumb.
So the males, when they fight each other for breeding rights, like nothing happens. They just go at it for a few days and get bored.
Nah, they're just permanently horny.
Hey!
Puns, I've got them. But yeah, like the fact that
do you think they have vibranium dipping sauce? And they just stick everything in it.
Hey.
They have vibranium dipping sauce. And they just dollop everything in it. Rhino in monkey. Yep, lorikeet. In you go. Tree. Yep, everything's got vibranium now.
It's like the equivalent of pouring hot metal down like an anthill.
I thought it was more like deep frying shit, but sure, what else? It's just like the whole savannah, as far as the eye can see, is coated in vibranium.
So those rhinos were made of vibranium. They were like mechs.
Yep. Yeah, they were essentially like, rhino mechs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still not on board with this, I'm sorry. Why don't they just make Battle Cat from He-Man?
Oh yeah, in vibranium.
There we go.
By the power of vibranium. By the power of Wakanda, I have vibranium!
I'm sorry to everybody that liked Black Panther that I'm.
Lucas has just left the building. Lucas has dropped his mic and left the building in disgust. He's absolutely disgusted with us.
I know.
What, just now?
Yeah. Alright. Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
It's wrapped.
That was quick.
Alright. So, we need to sing our way out, and I've got something unique and interesting for this fortnight. We're going to heavy metal our way out. I'm taking the lead. You ready? Dun 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 dun.